Attention gamers.
The other day one of the game design directors at Riot Games took to Twitter with a rather interesting analogy. He was clearly frustrated with the complaint-ridden cuckwads that is us, the League community, when he wrote, "Imagine you open a restaurant, your food is great and so many people enjoy eating there, but now imagine there's a guy who eats there every meal of every day, but for some reason all he does is tell everyone else how bad the food is. Wouldn't that be lame?" And I honestly feel for the guy, as anyone who watched Twitch chat during the Boust's reaction to my content would know that I can relate to anyone who works hard to produce something just to have people openly piss on it, and balancing over 150 characters and their interactions with each other across an insanely large spectrum of skill ranks among a massive player base makes my butthole hair stick straight up with anxiety. So nothing but respect for the team still releasing new champs like Pikachu and having them work with the game. But since I'm kinky to carry on analogies, I also felt the need to respond by saying, now imagine you go to this restaurant and agree its food is the best, but more often than not someone sitting nearby gets up on your table and takes a fat dump all over your meal, ruining your experience and making you wonder why the restaurant keeps letting him come back in. And in case I got too cryptic, the douche pooper in this example represents a teammate with the common unpunished behaviors that completely ruin games. So today I will tie this analogy to an example on the Rift to show how it's not the food that results in these negative Yelp reviews, it's the fact that while it seems ridiculous to let someone who is shitting on other people's tables return to the restaurant, it's comparably frustrating to see players like what I'm about to show behave like this knowing it won't be punished. So if Mortdog or any other rioter is watching, the ball is in your court to show you are listening to the concerns the community has voiced for so long by making an example out of this behavior with a ban on this player, or else people might just get frustrated enough to learn that the food at other restaurants is pretty damn good too, like over at the Rady Shady Tavern where I can hear a rap breaking out. "Yo, can someone fetch me a waitress? I'm in need of a brief league hiatus. Like to order me some mobile RPG game greatness. I can hear the champs, the campaign, the bosses, and the loot that will await us. So please ma'am, read me the specials on Rady Shady's latest status."
Yes, Rav Daddy, we got big stuff cooking up. Like a 5-headed Hydra boss, you should totes look it up. Each head with new mechanics designed to f you up. But if you stack your squad and play it right, I'll pour some Hydra loot straight into your cup.
Wow, that actually sounds so dang dank, like something me and my clan will pursue. Give a scary Hydra a spank. Have you porous its fruity looty drank? Consider it done. Now tell me what else in Raid is new.
Well, we have a new champ called Simple that players can collect, based off of the esports legend and all the tournaments he wrecked. Just log in 7 times before this date and he'll be delivered direct. And trust me, his abilities and power are beyond what you'd expect.
That right there sounds like a worthwhile transaction. Now did I hear there's new champs that I can throw into action? And fusion events that craft insane loot through a dope chain reaction, plus a brand new faction wars crypt for the Shadowkin faction. Now if you watch this rap and want to give Raid a go, you can use my description link or scan the QR code below, which will give you energy, XP, money, shards, and a free champ. It's a mystery who you'll get, but in the early campaign battles it will surely steal the show. And for dessert, can I have the flourless chocolate cake?
Raid Shadow Legends.
Alright, let's set the stage with some introductions. Why don't we hear I am fresh out of the gate, short and stout, ready to pout. Then we have my team's jungler, a Katarina. More on that later. My support was this weeping willow tree, and if you are watching this, homie, you are cool. And finally we have these last 2 morons. Yone, who isn't guilty of anything but being a wind-shitting dumbass, and then there's Cass, the most toxic tit licker with tentacles on this side of the Rift equator, who is also responsible for us having a cat jungle, as I believe his comment after locking in Cass was something along the lines of, "No, I'm mid too many shitters ruining my placements." So at this point I guess it's completely on me and I'm the problem for not dodging, since I forgot that's become a valuable mechanic needed to climb. But let's continue. I knew this cat was a one trick, and in this elo I had full confidence in her. Well, that was until level 2, when the arrogant octopus's lane mate decided to sneak out early to surprise my jungler. And while I feel like a mid laner flaming a jungler in this situation is rarer than rocking horse shit, I still wouldn't consider finger pointing and frustrated flaming the problem, as both players were still trying to win the game at this point. And besides, I was busy recreating the intro scene from Pirates of the Caribbean, but in this rendition the sexy pirate got double dicked by a fat tree and some front flipping hobbit. But our mid laner must have also smelled bad, in addition to being a rage-fueled narcoleptic sewer rat, because Diana just refused to ever stay in his lane. That said, I shouldn't have been pushed up more than a set of tits trying to make it on TikTok, so I drained my anger account by objectively stating that their mid laner loves to travel. To which he clears his guilty conscience completely by saying it was pinged. Literally as his lane opponent is going tier 2 turret skinny dipping while he stands still writing his dissertation on why everyone else's penis is smaller than his, so despite him then being the one to complain about his own responsibility not being taken care of. I still have zero issues with this so far as misplaying and then blaming others comes with playing any team sport. Not to mention it's hard to complain when there's some smoochy Gucci blonde eye candy with awful accuracy doing everything in her power to keep you happy, plus your right clicks had a date with MF's right clicks underneath a violent 700-pound walking mistletoe, and I don't like to kiss and tell but the date ended with my right clicks f***ing hers. So I'm over here with my Ted Lasso hat on prepping some illegal strategies, but you'd think this cat nabbed the last PS5 in a Walmart on Black Friday right in front of Diana with the amount of targeted vengeance she had for her, and then me and Mao are like, whoa there Diana, eat a Snickers, you're not yourself when you're hungry, RIP Betty White. And you can tell that our mid is deriving too much pleasure from his teammate underperforming, even if he's both the reason that Chick is stuck playing jungle as cat and that his laner is the one setting up campsites in our own forest, and maybe I'm desensitized from playing so much solo queue, but this to me was still not a problem. You see, right after we walked right into a nature's documentary detailing whether dogs or dragons are higher on the food chain, and not to spoil anything but a rabbit in a witch costume came in and killed both of them. I was all like cannonball bustin' nut on this blonde babe before adding some ginger into my dead bitch brownie mix.
Oh, baby, a triple!
Dirty D did then try to dick us out of milking the dragon, but we don't take kindly to guests arriving uninvited, so we murder her, and then Cass continues being an ass, and I try my very best to break the tilting tension by pretending like there is a scientific correlation between my performance and how many chicken nuggets will be parachuting out of my asshole later. Anyways, this put enough pennies in the piggy bank to buy me a mythic, and then ask these two bimbos if they are interested in cosplaying as Kraken. And while a lot of people downplay how advanced my gameplay tactics are, you should know that mid-fight I broke into this Lux's house, chloroformed her and swapped her Q and W keybinds, which should not be an outplay that goes unnoticed. Update: still can't spell Cass without a big ass, as her foot is still on the piss baby pedal, asking her to do something, which was ironic considering she was in the process of outplaying the flip-flopping fuck out of Cassidon's spoon-fed lane opponent. All while the infallible cancerous calamari himself is up top deciding that a Dua Lipa 180 back into the danger he just ported out of is totally not something he himself would flame another teammate for doing, but let's not forget it would be irrational to think that anything is his own fault. Meanwhile, Yone, he whose head is baloney, is like Veiled Mid isn't exactly going hungry either, and I'm down here looking at my mousepad thinking why oh why is this always representing my exact mood, but again, still nothing I'd report considering people are free to suck ass and whine all they want in this game. Hell, I'm doing it right now by making this video, but while bad is a word typically used to describe my gameplay, bombed but blasted and stuck back in base is how I was describing the enemy bot. So after one more close call with that demon semen injected werewolf, I backed off to consume Cassidon's latest content, which long story short got me stuck between a rock and a hard place and 2 giga fed solo laners, which brings us to the point where Cassidon transcends from being just a toxic shitter that I'm happily trying to carry, to the main problem I personally deal with and the reason why I often complain about your proverbial restaurant. But do not fear, Rav the motivational speaker is here. Then I get sight of a confrontation in the stealth smokes, and if I were to compare game design to a restaurant's menu, you would never find me ordering anything related to a chemdrake, but that said, I'm sure some people enjoy it, just probably not any sane one-shottable ADC, but hey, 2 for 1 courtesy of my cauldron gun is keeping this game quite fun, as you have to give props to this cat staying positive while stuck just trying to mind her own business and make her pick work without the world seemingly being against her. Like how this Cassidon was now devoting his entire existence toward following her around and trying to steal as many of her camps out from under her, mimicking every step like he was her shadow, a shitty greasy-fingered virgin immature game-ruining shadow. That is, until she got into a fight to which he was like, call me a German car manufacturer cause I'm outie. So needless to say, the fight ends a bit shitty for our team's kitty as I come and look at the dirty Diana and tell her to say I'm pretty. To which I then engage in a fail flash off with Miss Unfortunate, which earns me a much sought after attaboy Rav, prompting our team's feeding windshitter to ask who Rav is.
No, that one there was a violation, personally I wouldn't have it.
Yes, thanks to my friends at Raid Shadow Legends for making it possible for me to make money while being 16-3 and deciding to play melee form Tristana against a Jax, but it all works out and thankfully WW doesn't get the W with his long jump either. Well, he got the W right after, as I don't think the wealth of these two was sufficient enough for them to contribute to homicides yet, but Yone starts doing Yone things all while our Kassadin is continuing to PvE to complete the quest entitled Show the Men in This World Why They Should Always Check for Holes in the Condom Before Engaging in YouTube Demonetizable Activities with Female Apes, so Yone only gets one when 3 were contingent on us having 5 players. Fast forward to the next team fight that our full health Kassadin was intentionally not contributing to, and I have to admit that a bit of blood was rushing toward the tip of my hap penis seeing this cat coming online, so when her body language was asking me to not let Rabbit House Pets murder her, I donated a few right clicks and even offered to whip out Melee Man ADC again before butt blasting the crack addict Clifford away to watch him declare that dogs rule cats drool one last time before his presence leaves us. Then, since Kassadin, with a large amount of jungle farm and a personal vendetta against one player on our team, has decided to deliberately try to make our entire team lose, he opts out of participating in the Save a Wild Windshooter Foundation, which you might say, but Rav, there were 3 people there, and to which I would reply that anyone who has ever tried Riot's restaurant food would know that Yone and Kassadin at least even trade there, considering their bot lane had died 14 times and were 3 levels behind everyone else in the game, but I diverge as I had other things to take care of. I'm over here trying my absolute wet dick off to keep a windshitter alive, but better men than me have failed at such an ambitious task, so this leaves us in a situation that felt like a hard round in Bloons tower defense, except we accidentally placed one of our pieces in bumfuck Kalamazoo. As you see, Kassadin's response to a hard push is to casually sit bot and then frolic like a little fart guzzling virgin, and I'm over here thinking if only this guy's mother knew that he was using his free rent in her basement by actively trying to lose endeavors in his life just to punish someone he's never met before, will never see again, and never said anything to him to provoke such behavior, she'd probably go into anaphylactic abortions regret. He who shits wind is now also shitting the bed, so I come in for a dramatic bomb pop. Which was dopely dramatic, but the problem with me having 110% of my team's kills gold and desire to win this game, paired with me having like 30% of the average human intelligence, meant I was eventually going to die a dumb death and have to watch them push our base, and as yup, you guessed it, Kassadin sat AFK top lane punching hoodlums. So there you have it, Mort Dog and anyone else who might be watching. This is Rav saying I fucking love the food at your restaurant. It is absolutely the best food in the market, and I would happily eat it every day and bring my friends in to try it, as long as you stop the people who are shitting on my meals right in front of your faces from coming back in. Show all the people who don't have a voice that I am asking to share their similar stories in my comments, who experience the same type of bullshit daily, that you're trying to fix this, and the next time I look up this Kassadin's account, 7 twice, I expect to see it banned to show that you care about people shitting in your customers' meals. Balls in your court now. Rav out.
Gravy boy, I'm in your crib with the blappy boy. Talk to me slick and I'm popping your pappy. If happy talk back, then I'm taking your Grammy, and boy oh boy, I'll make her happy. Let's go.